I'm sure my brother and my mother are proud of the fine service that Pastor Anthony has presented, and we'll finish up with. And I'm sure that they can feel the love that's in this church tonight, which is remarkable and much appreciated. And I thank you all for being here. I've been crying a lot in the past few weeks. First, because of Bob's illness, and then for his death. But I know that those tears are for me, for my loss. Bob is at peace, and beyond pain and beyond fear. It is we who are suffering. The sorrow, how cancer decimated him and ended his marvelous sculpting. Bob signed a DNR, not resuscitated. He was ready to join our mother. Okay, so he was a tough guy. He didn't take a lot of crap from anybody all his life. Made his decision, and he's in that little urn right there. His ashes, that's his ashes, but his spirit and his soul is up there somewhere, right? In our hearts, in all those sculptures. I want to give you a little bit of background. Bob was a miracle baby. Bob and I and my mother came to the United States when he was 2. And I was 10. We were both orphanage before we came. We lived in orphanages. And we were stateless because West Germany in those days did not recognize refugees from East Germany as citizens. So Bob and I were never Germans. We were born there, but we were never Germans. We became Americans and proud to be. Bob was a patriot and loved this country. He joined me in demonstration to support our troops during the Vietnam War. He always supported our military and our police and people like Reagan. And he was proud of my service in Vietnam. He could not go into the military because when he was about 4, he was struck by a car and suffered serious injuries to his skull. He flew into the air and crashed into the concrete, miraculously recovered with just a scar on his forehead. But he struggled with thyroid problems and he had serious asthma most of his life. That excluded him from military service. But he loved this country. He supported our troops. Bob went to the High School of Art and Design in Manhattan, just like I had. I went to the High School of Art and Design, but he did better than I. He was a much better artist. And after graduating from Queens College, he worked on Wall Street briefly, but he did not like the culture. And being the kind of guy he was, he didn't want to take a lot of crap. He left. But Bob loved animals. You can see that in the slideshow you just saw, right? We saw him with his dachshund Woody, with the white terrier Charlie, and with the Yorkie, with Valerie's dog Ginger. He lived his entire life in Queens. And his favorite place was the zoo at Flushing Meadows. Okay, Marie. I know you got somebody looking for you. He asked that his ashes be spread at that zoo. And we will be doing that in the spring. We will carry out that wish. Bob was the director of the Alliance of Queens Artists, which at its height had several hundred members, for about 11 years. And it was a successful organization until the recession of 2008, 2009, when the funding dried up. But at AQA, he was also an art teacher, and he helped a lot of kids develop their talents. After AQA folded, he became an independent artist for the rest of his life. He was blessed to be living with his friends, who loved him dearly. That's Lori and Harold O'Brien and their son Harold Jr., as Anthony already mentioned. I want to thank them for their many kindnesses, particularly when he got very ill in his battle with cancer for the last 3 years. Bob was a wonderful storyteller and knew a lot about history, as Anthony already mentioned, cinema, believe it or not. He knew all about cinema, science fiction, politics, philosophy, art. I don't know where the hell he learned all this stuff. But he did. He knew about New York's museums, and he would regale us for hours and make us laugh. And he had a sharp sense of humor. He loved to share cartoons, and puns, and funny photos. And thanks to Valerie, my daughter, we had the weekly conference calls that Anthony had mentioned. And we all came to appreciate Bob's wit, wisdom, and wide range of knowledge. I was fortunate that ever since I came back to the East Coast in 91, I would spend at least once a month a lunch with them, or a dinner with them, or go someplace with them. So at least once a month. So that was great. Bob's passion for truth are reflected in his art, and you can see in the slideshow sculptures and paintings that cover a wide range of interests, from medieval knights and fierce Indian warriors to sensuous nudes and triumphant angels and curious snowmen and hungry bears. Bob enjoyed making those carvings. It was his life. He poured all his passion and love into those carvings. But he shared some of that with us as well. And he won some awards and competitions. You can see all these and more on R.H. Menzel Collectible.com, which is a website that I established for him a long time ago. We will be establishing the Robert H. Menzel Memorial Award for Miniatures with the Miniature Engraving Society of Washington, D.C. I don't know if you got that up there. The first award will be this year, this spring. I will end by saying that I like to remember Bob as my baby brother. He was a little guy. I used to feed him and make him eat his Campbell soup. My mom worked 2 jobs for many years. So I don't praise something I would carry on my shoulders. We walked all the Queens. I remember how we would play on the fire escape. We didn't have any air conditioning. The weather was hot. And how we would go out and buy an 8-foot Christmas tree. You saw some of the pictures of that. And decorate it mostly with tinsel. And then we'd watch Scrooge on the Christmas Carol, like at 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning. I loved him. I always loved him. And I miss him very much. God bless his memory. God bless you. Thank you for your time.